Okay, so let's get started. So as you can see there, this webinar tonight is personal development. And this is a series of 8, one of a series of 8 webinars, where I call it my Kleeneze Circle of Success. As you can see there, we start off, the number 1 and 2, 3 are kind of getting started, mainly about the retail, the catalogue side of the business. And then 4 and 5 are more about the team building, the kind of the network marketing bit of the business, team building and supporting new team members. And then the last 3, and this is the last of those, is all about kind of growing yourself, a bit of personal development basically. And so although this is number 8, actually it's really useful skills that will help you even if you're just starting your business as well. So, personal development, that's what we're talking about tonight. What is personal development? There's a little description there, a little definition. A process of self-education where skills and knowledge chosen by you are learned in order to improve the quality of your life. And the bits that are underlined there are important. So you educate yourself. It's, you choose to educate, to learn about whatever skill it is that you think would be helpful to you. And rather than, when you're at school, you get told this is what you have to learn. So that's kind of the important bit about it. As I said, it's not really like school. It's up to you to decide. But it could well be that you go to an evening class to learn a particular skill or something. That's fine as well. It's all part of personal development. But the important bit is you can choose what you want to learn about. And why is it important? How will it help you in Kleeneze? Well, in the last module, and I know some of you might not have had the chance to see that, but in the last module we talked about the fact that whenever you start Kleeneze, everybody starts with the same opportunity, and that some will succeed and some won't. What makes the difference? Well, attitude is really important in the difference between those that succeed and those that don't. And what can you do about that? What can you do to make sure that you are one of the ones that succeed? So one of the things you can do is a bit of self-education, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. Jim Rohn, one of my favourite speakers and authors on this whole area, talked about formal education making you a living and self-education make you a fortune. Great. Hi, Bill. Hi everybody else. I saw a few people just joined recently. So yeah, Jim Rohn is a great author and speaker that if you're looking for somebody to learn a bit about or from, then certainly look out some of his books, and I'll talk about that again in a moment. So just wanted to give you a little example from my own experiences about self-education. When I was at school, I thought I was reasonably bright, but a lot of my teachers didn't. I got 7 O-levels, as they were called then, GCSEs, I suppose, 4 A-levels. I went to university for a year, but I was kind of too immature, really. I didn't really sort of concentrate while I was there, so I dropped out at the end of the first year. While I was at school, I did a couple of the O-levels. I did French and German, because that's what we were told to do, languages. I got a grade B in French, which was pretty good. My German, I kind of just about scraped an E from that. I just kind of wasn't really interested in it at all. Now, 15 years later, I decided, I was going to take those exams again. And I got a grade A in French and a grade A in German. Now the question is, did I suddenly develop some magical skill in languages? And of course the answer is no. The reason that I got those grades is that I worked hard because I wanted to. What actually happened was, they were actually done over 2 separate years. I was working for a company that were bought out by a French company, and there were some opportunities to go and work in Paris, and I thought, oh, I fancy a bit of that. So I basically decided I'm going to go back to evening class, do my French GCSE again, and because I was really motivated and I had a goal and I really wanted, I saw this as something that would be really helpful in my career. I really worked hard at that and got a grade A. Didn't actually get to work in Paris because I then changed jobs to another company, and the company that I changed to was a German company. They were actually, I don't know if you know T-Mobile, the mobile phone company. Well, they were actually a German company. So when I started working for them, and there were opportunities again to go and do a bit of work in Germany, I thought it'd be really useful if I could speak a bit of German. even though all of the Germans can speak really brilliant English, I thought this might help me. So again, just went to evening class, did my sort of German GCSE or whatever it was called then, got a grade A again because I was really keen to do well. So I concentrated and I worked hard, which is quite different to what I was like at school, unfortunately. So the important thing there was, because I wanted to do something, I worked hard at it, and because I worked hard, I got the results. It was nothing to do with a talent for languages at all. It was just working hard because I wanted to do something. And that's the important bit about any kind of education that you decide to take on at this point in your kind of business. So that's all very well talking about my wonderful language skills, but let's bring this back to what we're here about tonight, which is Kleeneze. Quick question, why do people join Kleeneze? Do you think it's because the people that join Kleeneze just love delivering catalogues? They love that plop as it goes through the letterbox, the sort of the flop of the catalogue as it's put back out on the doorstep 10 minutes later? Or is it because they want to improve their lifestyle? And I guess, hopefully, what you'd answer the same as my thoughts, which are that people join Kleeneze not because they want to do catalogues, but because they see it as a way, a vehicle, to improve their life. So if you've been in Kleeneze for a little while, or even if you're just starting, like Carly, we were talking to earlier, then hopefully you've got in your mind, or you had in your mind when you started, what that lifestyle change was that you wanted. Whether it was to be able to go on more holidays, or to not to have to worry about bills, or whatever it was. And the question I'd like you to ask yourself is, have you achieved that lifestyle yet? And if not, or even if you had, if you've now set yourself some new goals for an even better lifestyle, what do you need to do to move from where you are now to achieving that lifestyle that you're hoping for? So we've got a little kind of formula for you, if you like, a little a route, a roadmap, let's say, to get to this improved lifestyle, whatever it might be. So to get to that improved lifestyle, what you need from your Kleeneze business are some results. You need some orders from your customers. You need to build up a customer base so you've got some regular orders coming in. If you're looking to build a residual income and earn more than you can from just your own catalogues, then you need some team members to build that. So those results, if you like, are the reasons why you're working towards, or what you're working towards at the moment. Now, to get those results, they don't just appear on their own. You need to take some actions. So the sorts of actions, as you can see there, you need to deliver your catalogues regularly, get your catalogues in and out a couple of times a week. You need to start to speak to some people about the opportunity if you're looking to bring in some team members. But in order for you to take those actions, if you get up in the morning and you think, oh God, you know what, it's a bit rainy outside, I'm not sure, perhaps I'll leave it till tomorrow and put my catalogues out. And then tomorrow you've got a bit of a headache, so you think, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll do them next week instead. If that's your attitude, then the trouble is those actions won't take place by themselves. So in order to take those actions regularly and persistently and consistently, you need to have a good attitude. You need to have the right attitude, this kind of, if they can do it, so can I kind of attitude. And your attitude, whether it's a good attitude or a bad attitude, whether it's positive or negative, is based on your philosophies in life. Now I'm going to expand on that in just a moment. But if you have some good philosophies, that will result in a good attitude. That good attitude will result in you taking actions every day, and taking those actions every day will give you the results. And those results will give you that lifestyle that you were after when we first started talking about it. So hopefully you can see this kind of link between the results, the actions, the attitude, and the philosophies. So there you have it. Your philosophy results in a good attitude, which leads to massive actions, which produces those results, which then give you the lifestyle that you're after. So we're all after that fantastic lifestyle. How do we start off with this great philosophy? And the philosophy is basically your kind of, it's almost a difficult word to define, but it's your kind of inner beliefs, your values, I suppose. And you get a good philosophy by reading some good books, by listening to some good CDs, and also by associating with like-minded people. So, you can educate yourself. You can find out, and I'll give you a good starting point at the moment, in a moment. What are the books you should be reading to give you that good philosophy, which will give you those good attitudes every day? What CDs should you be listening to? And you can choose to do that, and that is your self-education. Those books and those CDs and the training courses that you come to and the webinars that you're already joining on. In a way, I'm kind of preaching to the converted here, because all you guys here have sacrificed an hour or so of your time on a Wednesday night when you could be down the pub or having a meal with a partner or whatever, in order just to sort of educate yourself on something. So you're already doing some of this, and by making a start on your personal development, you're heading in the right direction. And who can make a start? Well, anybody can. It doesn't matter where you are today, you can make a start on your personal development. Another little quote from Jim Rohn there. He talks about success, and the greatest value in achieving success is not the money that you make, but the person you become. And he gives an example of this. If you can consider two people who've got £1 million, one of them might be an entrepreneur who's kind of gone through a lot of kind of work trying to work out its new product and market it and work out how to develop it and bringing in some new staff and dealing with the staff and all those things that an entrepreneur needs to go through in order to create a business that would give him £1 million. And you can compare that with somebody who wins the lottery and gets £1 million. Now, they both have £1 million. And you could say they're both very successful. They probably both have nice cars, nice houses, nice holidays and so on. But if they lose that money, then are they both still successful? The entrepreneur will have all of those skills that he had in producing his first million, and will, all of those skills will still be perfectly valuable in creating another business. Having learned from whatever the lesson was that caused him to lose it, he can apply it again. The lottery winner can simply just go out and try and buy some more lottery tickets, but the chances of him becoming successful again are pretty slim. So, how can you add value to yourself, if you like, to help your personal development? Well, a good way to start is to read 10 pages of a good book every day. So, I don't mean by that, Harry Potter is a great book, but it's kind of more entertainment, if you like, rather than educational. So, I'll give you some examples of good books. But if you read 10 pages every day, and that really doesn't take you that long, that we're probably talking about 20 minutes, half an hour if it's small writing, then even with 115 days off a year, that's 2,500 pages of a good book a year. That's 10 good books. 10 good books, if you read 10 good books in a year, that's a great start to your education. Or equally, you could listen to 10 minutes of an audio CD. So many books these days you can get on audio CDs. It's so easy to get things downloaded through iTunes, or, well, obviously that's download, not a CD. Or if you prefer CDs to play in your car, you can get them from Amazon, but also Bids and Knowledge is King, which are two great resources for things like this. And the other thing to think about is who you spend most of your time with. And a little quote I heard here, which I think is very, very true: if the 4 people you spend the most time with are broke, you'll be the 5th. And that's probably quite true, actually. And a way to change that is just to start spending a bit of time with successful people. So, for example, coming to the millionaires meetings. We've got a millionaires down south on the 27th, I think. Beryl, is that right? I think it's the 27th. And there's one in Scotland. I know Bill and Adele are hoping to go to that on the 26th, I think. So that's 2 great meetings for you to mix with and learn from successful people in Kleeneze. So, a couple of little philosophies for you, just to hopefully try and give you an idea of the sort of things I'm talking about here. Take responsibility for everything going on in your life. Now, what do I mean by that? When I first heard that, I sort of thought, oh, what does that mean? You know, can't be responsible for everything that happens. But the problem is, if you start blaming someone or something for, let's say, the weather, you were hoping to put your catalogues out, it's pouring down with rain, and you're sort of saying, oh, goddamn bloody weather, I was hoping for a really nice dry day today so I could get my catalogues out. Well, it's not my fault I can't put the catalogues out, it was raining. You know, if it wasn't raining, I'd be out putting my catalogues out. But as soon as you start blaming the weather, you lose your ability to do anything about it. And there's nothing stopping you, for example, from saying, well, it doesn't matter what the weather's like, there's no such thing as bad weather, it's just the wrong clothes. So I'll put my raincoat on and my galoshes and my welly boots and my waterproof hat and I'll go out anyway. Because then that way you're taking responsibility for whether your catalogues get out. Another example there, if you're already in a job and doing Kleeneze alongside that, if you start blaming your boss whenever you don't get a pay rise, or at the end of the year when the company doesn't give big pay rises, the more you blame them, the less you can do anything about it. What you could do is say, actually, if I had some more skills, I would probably get promoted. So you could look at, a promotion that you'd be aiming for. What are the skills? Speak to your boss and say, what skills do I need to get that promotion if it comes up? And hopefully, if you've got an open, forward-thinking boss, he would say, well, you probably need to do this a bit more and develop that, improve some presentation skills, learn a bit more about this technical skill, whatever it might be. And you could then choose to take an evening class. And that way, you're taking responsibility for having all of the skills to enable you to get promoted, rather than just blaming it on someone else. So that's what I think that's a really great philosophy for, just kind of it really stops a lot of stress in your life, because if you're sort of worried about how much you're earning from your Kleeneze business, and every day you get up praying and hoping that it's going to be dry so you can get your catalogues out, then every time it's raining you're going to get stressed out. And that's it's a bad way to live your life if you get stressed out by things that are outside of your control. So take responsibility for it, and then you can choose whether you put the catalogues out or not. You can choose whether you put your raincoat on or not. And if you're choosing and you choose not to, then that's absolutely fine, because that's giving you the control over that decision. What else have we got? Another example there. A lot of people say, oh, well, I don't really have time to do that. I've got lots of these things to do today. But actually, what's better to say is, well, we all have the same 24 hours, and I'm choosing to spend my time doing this. So if you choose to spend your time with your friends down the pub on the evening, or watching Coronation Street because you find it relaxing or whatever, then that's fine. But don't say you don't have time to do things around that. Just say, I'm choosing to spend my time watching Coronation Street because actually, whatever that maybe it just helps you wind down at the end of a busy day, whatever it might be. As I say there, I think that's a great one for just kind of reducing stress. Okay, another good philosophy I really, really like is that success is a few correct decisions repeated every day, and failure is just a few errors in judgment repeated every day. This is the gist behind a couple of great books, the Slight Edge and the Compound Effect. And I think I've got those coming up in a moment when I've got a few example books. And that's really, really important. That just little decisions about, shall I put an extra 10, 20, 30 catalogues out each day? Saying yes every day means, at the end of a week you could have put 100, 200 extra catalogues out. Over a period of time, that's thousands of catalogues, a lot more customers, a lot more orders. Whereas if you just sort of say, oh no, maybe I'm just going to stop a bit early and there's only 5 or 10 catalogues left, I won't bother putting those out. If you repeat that every day, then that's just a few extra catalogues that you haven't bothered with. At the end of a week or a month or a year, how is that going to mount up in terms of lost opportunity? It's often not a huge decision, a huge kind of decision overnight that causes a failure. It's often just one or two small things that you do regularly, little habits often that you often, because they're habits, you almost don't even realise you're doing them. And as I've said there, for example, an extra 50 catalogues, or talking about rods in the pond there, but maybe one or two leads that you didn't follow up, or cards that you didn't put out, or leaflets that you didn't deliver, or maybe you sort of decide, oh, I'm a bit busy, I won't bother reading my 10 pages of a good book for a couple of days. Just little kind of decisions there that can go one way or the other for you. And the final one, which is very, very relevant to Kleeneze, help enough people get what they want out of life, and you can have anything you want out of life. If you join Kleeneze and you're hoping to build a team, and you find people and you find out what they want out of their life, and you help them get that, then you can get anything you want out of your life. Right, guys, the joys of live webinars. You're going to have to bear with me a moment. My daughter's just come back from her drama class and she's forgotten the key and locked herself out, so I'm just going to let her in. Right, my apologies for that. So we talked a bit about reading 10 pages of a good book, so here's a few to get started. Sorry, I'm all puffed out after running up and down those stairs. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, thank you, Helen. Thank you, Rich and Helen. Right, so a couple of great books. Jim Rohn, I've already mentioned him a couple of times, but that Building Your Network Marketing Business is a fantastic CD. I think that was the first one I bought when I joined Kleeneze, and it's probably still one of my favourites. And a great book to go along with that, 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness. So if you like listening to CDs, or put a CD in your car while you're driving about, I would certainly recommend the first one. If you're more of a reader, then the 7 Strategies is a good one to go for. The Slight Edge and the Compound Effect, I mentioned those as well. It's just kind of expands on this whole thing about it's not the big decisions that make you successful or a failure. It's the little ones that you make every day. Both of those books are kind of really great ways of kind of looking at that. There's a book by Dale Carnegie that I really like. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's quite an old book now. I think it was written in the 1930s. And it's quite a long book, but the gist of it is it's got lots and lots and lots of examples, but the gist of it is be nice to people. It's amazing what you get in return. It's kind of about building rapport and relationships with people, so it's really useful as a way, thinking about your customers and your prospects, trying to understand their situations and not sort of thinking, why isn't my customer buying from me, or why isn't that guy joining the business? Try to think of it from their point of view and what they're looking for, and that will kind of allow you to kind of understand their situation a lot more, and you'll be amazed how kind of friendly people can be as a result of your trying to understand them. And the last one there, this is a particular favourite of mine as well, Darren Hardy, Design Your Best Year Ever. It's a kind of it's more of a workbook than a book that you read, and it's basically a way of choosing a goal that you want for the whole year and then breaking it down into kind of small chunks so that you can sort of translate that into daily steps. Because sometimes if you set a fantastic goal that looks really great and exciting, it's a bit difficult to work out how to get there. And this book just helps you break that down into something. So every morning you can get up and think, right, in order to achieve my goal, I need to put out my 200 catalogues today, or whatever it might be. So that's a really good one. I really enjoy that one as well. Okay, now I'm not going to attempt to create programs for everybody, and there isn't, this isn't a sort of one-size-fits-all. You kind of need to choose books that kind of work well for you, and I will find that some people find Jim Rohn's he's very American, and some people don't like the way he talks and things, so that might not be right for you. Similar to Jeff Olson, but if you prefer to read books, then that's fine. So I'm not going to try to create programs for everybody, but hopefully this will inspire you a little bit to make a start on this. And if anybody wants any more detail of any of those books or anything that I've been through, just let me know. So here we are. That was the end of the personal development webinar. As I said, hopefully it just kind of inspires you to go out and find some good books or some CDs. Next week we're back to the beginning again, which is all about getting started. However, as I said right at the beginning, oh yes, Bill, couple of good points from Bill there. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which was a good one, and The Richest Man in Babylon, which is an excellent book. I'd heard about that 5 years ago, and I don't know why I didn't get it. I only got it about a few months ago, but it really is a great book, so certainly recommend those two as well. Thanks, Bill. Yes, so the next week we're back to getting started, but all 8 of these videos, the webinars, are recorded. And you can have a look at any of them now. So if you're Carly, for example, you just started, I know we talked briefly at the beginning, you might want to have a look at the getting started one as soon as possible. And I'll show you now where to find them all. They're all on YouTube, so hopefully if you're familiar with YouTube, if not, just go into Google and search for YouTube, you'll find it very easily. And go into YouTube and just do a search. That's my account there, but if you just do a search on something like Chris Smith Kleeneze, you should find me. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, and then whenever I put a new video up there, you'll get a notification just saying, Chris has put some more videos up there. The one that we've recorded now, and I'm just going to stop the recording, so if you're watching this on recording, I'll say cheerio.